able to pay my way through college. All the nasty stuff I had to do, man. It's a lot of hard work, but I managed to get through. Hi everyone, I'm Vinny. I know it's been a while. It's been like what? Months? I want to say months. I like yeah, it's months. I was moving, I was working. It was a lot of hard stuff. I'm tired and hungry. Mostly hungry. But it was kind of like a vacation, but nah, not really. It's like tons of things to do. Man, I don't know what to say anymore. It's been a while since I've been on my show. I just want to jump out the window now. A third story window while doing a flip. Enough of that. Let's introduce my guests we had like a few weeks ago.
Thanks for having me back on.
Yeah, right?
Hmm?
How you been? Can you care to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Chris, aka Crazy Chris. I just began a game show out of my Uber called Driven to Win Video Game Show. I recorded my pilot episode probably a few weekends ago, a couple weekends ago. My editor just finished it, and I just put my pilot out, my uncensored pilot out on YouTube.
Nice.
So my YouTube is, I don't know if it's youtube.com/culture crossbreed or /user/culture crossbreed. It's a cringy name. I've been wanting to change it, but they made it so you have to have 100 followers, so now I'm stuck with it until I get more people. So,
So how the first contestant felt when they came in?
the very first guy was actually, I asked him and he's like, I'm actually indifferent, honestly. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then he was,
never being in an Uber car filled with games, I'm pretty sure
And-
people like me would be like ecstatic,
and a game show,
right?
and prizes, and he was indifferent. But I mean, it was funny though, because I was doing my pickups in the same area, and that guy was actually the roommate to my second contestant. And my second contestant, her group was really awesome. So when I choose the game for people, I try my best to do like, I record my first playthrough, and I go off of that for like the grand prize. So I do something conceivably that a beginner could do, but just barely do.
How
And
barely?
barely. So like basically I played through Nick Kart Racers, right? My second contestant played through that. And what I did was I played Nick Kart Racers from scratch. I unlocked as much stuff as I could. But my first playthrough, all I did was I did the tutorial, and then I skipped straight to the medium difficulty, the medium speed.
Nice.
And then I did that, and I just played through each level. And the first one that gave me a challenge I actually lost was the 5th cup. So I set my challenge on the 4th cup. There was like one level that I almost lost on the 4th cup, so I thought, okay, this is a good challenge. And almost every race, they came like this close to losing and then didn't, and they were so excited. And
So how many people came so far? Like how many people tried it out?
so far I've had 3 contestants. I had the first one who was a bit apathetic to it. I had the second group that was awesome, and they won the Nintendo Switch, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Every moment was pretty fun with them. And then not last night, but the night before, I gave a ride to somebody who don't get me wrong, it was like an amicable ride, but I'm trying to get into a certain character for the show, and I just keep breaking character because I had like a really I've just had a lot of unpleasantries lately.
Yes. Mostly driving or just
No, just interpersonal things that I know.
that's rough.
Like I mean, most of the past 4 years, I've like lived out of my car. Like I'll have 2 to 4 month increments where I'll have some kind of relief. And I've got a friend who's been letting me crash with her, which is, I mean, she's on the promiscuous end, and I'm pretty sure I made my character clear last time that I'm like monogamously minded and everything, and so being around someone like that who has like a rotation, like that's uncomfortable for me in a way. Like I know she's doing me a service by letting me stay there, and I thought she was doing it out of amends because she created a couple of really big problems for me in the past that were like to her benefit and at my expense.
Oof.
But she says no, she's just helping me, and the amends are separate. But I'm like thinking, I haven't told her yet, but I'm just gonna tell her like, you don't have to make amends. I forgave you, and just saying that I'm still gonna make amends is like, it puts a sense of pressure on me because now I'm expecting something and I don't really want to. So the reason I was breaking character in my last recording was my friend has a roommate, and this roommate, it's 2 rooms, the bedroom and like the living area, and she's renting out the living area to her. And so supposedly she has an ex-husband who stalks her, and like,
Whoa.
but she's but she still takes rides from this person. So I don't believe her narrative so much, especially after how she's treated me. Like, why would you take a ride from your stalker?
That's
Like, I don't.
bizarre.
Yeah, no, I don't believe a word that comes out of her mouth after this last interaction I had. So this is the interaction I had with her. She told me that she needed to get to her work, and that her ex husband was going to give her a ride, and she's like asking, actually, and I'm like, well, do you want me to give you a ride instead? And she says, well, I don't want to like inconvenience you. And keep in mind, it was an inconvenience. It was a huge inconvenience. This is the night that I wanted to do my second episode. So, but I thought, well, if you're that uncomfortable with your husband, so I told her, like, look, I don't want you feeling uncomfortable with that kind of situation. And like, and I'm like, but at the same time, I mean, can you, like, to be fair, she offered me $20, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it. It's a kind of a far drive. Like, it would be worth maybe a little less than that to me, but there's the comfort issue of, you're not some stranger picking me up or whatever. So, and keep in mind, $20 is not worth screwing up an episode where I'm giving away $120 worth of stuff. And,
That is true. That's true.
like, it's not worth it to me. But I'm trying to be nice. And so I'm like, when? She's like 9:15, and I thought it was gonna be way sooner because it's like 7, right? So I gotta wait like two and a quarter hours on her.
Ugh.
So I'm like,
So you so are you still like good friends with her, or like in like
this isn't not someone I was ever good friends with. This is the friend of the friend that's letting me crash with her.
oh.
So anyway, what ends up happening is she's like, she's getting ready, and I have to take a shower, so I tell her, like, as long as I'm like ready by like 9, we should be good. She's like, I guess. So 8:50 comes around, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Are you okay with leaving a little early? Would you like be ready to go at 9? And she's like, no, I'm not going to be ready at 9. I said, oh, okay, I'm just going to wait. She's like, I can't really grasp time right now. And I'm like, do you think you could be ready by 9:15? Like, that was the original time, right? And she's like, I don't know, I can't keep track of time right now. And I'm just thinking, like, that's such an odd thing to say, especially because I'm trying to help, and because it's like, you've gone to work how many times in your life? You've never audited how long this process takes. But I'm like, okay. And she, like, at one point she changed her mind, said, oh, I'm just gonna hire an Uber. And then she's like, never mind, I'll go with you. Like, that was earlier. So fast forward again, back to the present, and I'm like, okay, I'm just on the phone with my friend, and she's like walking around really fast, like she's about to leave the door. And I told my friend, oh, it looks like she's ready to go. I'm gonna give her a ride to work now. And she goes, oh no, I already hired an Uber. Like, she didn't communicate this to me.
So you had Uber, but ironically you're an Uber driver.
Yeah, like she mentioned, I heard something Uber in the other room, right? And I thought she was talking to someone on the phone, referring to me as the Uber, because she didn't ask me if I heard it. And we know that there's a hearing problem in this apartment where if you don't get confirmation, you probably weren't talking to that person. So I'm like, I thought I was driving you, though. I waited here all this time. And she goes, well, don't offer help to somebody if you're going to put a bunch of conditions on it. She walks out the door.
Oof.
And I was just like, I just sent her an immediate text message saying, that's not cool. You gave me an original time and then didn't stick to it. You changed your story and I still waited. That's not on me. No response from that, right? Read this stuff. I'm being pretty civil and pretty cordial. Read how horrible this person is. This is a lot of the people in my life right now, man. I mean, I have a lot of good people, and like I feel shitty because I'm like ungrateful for them.
Man, that sounds crazy with a capital C.
Yeah,
I just
no.
want a capital K.
Like, all I said basically was, this is my understanding of the events. What you said to me was really crappy, and I'm censoring myself a little there, but still, even without that, it's still pretty civil because it's true. What she said to me was crappy. And I'm like, and frankly, you owe me an apology. And then she's like, hey, go F yourself. That's how I apologize. If you don't like it, too bad. Laughing emojis. And I'm like, I tried to be nice to you, and this is the level of decency you have to show for it. Never presume to benefit from me in any way ever again. I'm blocking you. And she's like, bro, why don't you just go live at your girlfriend's house? Oh, wait, you can't. You can't get one. Grow up, and get a job instead. And you're sleeping on someone's floor like a weirdo that can't get no blanking blank. Have a great day. Like, nothing I said begot that kind of
It's
shit.
alright, bro. It's alright. Like,
But
at
the thing
least,
is,
like, that happened to you recently, right?
that happened to me like between last night and this morning, basically. Like, the first incident was on Saturday night, and then This morning is when I like told her like I feel like no, I didn't say I feel like, I wasn't like, I was more blunt about it. I'm like, frankly, you owe me an apology. And it's like the thing that's hard about this though is the person I'm crashing with, who I guess is her friend, is like, I'm trying to tell her like, I'm like, she's telling me like, because I don't get along well with this person now. And I'm like, I could get along fine. If she wanted to apologize, I'd accept an apology. But I'm not such a big person yet in my life that I can just take an apology from someone who's being awful to me. They should at least apologize, and I would accept that apology.
Hey man, you're just doing your best in life. That's all you could do.
But like, so I'm trying to tell our mutual friend that I'm crashing with. Um, I'm trying to tell her like, look, like this is how this person is treating me, and she's like making excuses for her. And she's like, oh, she's going through a lot worse than we are with her ex. She has a kid, and it's like, and I'm like, that's not the point. That doesn't give her any moral right to treat me that way or to talk to me that way. And she's like, I can't get in the middle of this right now. I'm not asking you to get in the middle of it. I'm just venting to you. Like I'm expressing myself. Like you wanted my judging character and the people in your life because you have so many problems with that. It's like I like there's a guy in her rotation who's like really cool, right? And I don't want to like say too much identifying stuff, but I'm like, this guy's really cool. And she's like, oh, I don't know, because she's had so many bad relationships and she had a bad marriage, and she's just really. And I'm like, no, I'm telling you, this guy's cool. I get like he's genuine. Like I'm like, if you're going to take someone seriously, you should take this guy seriously. And then it's like he makes her bed in the morning. He does all this stuff that she didn't pick up on before. And
Wow, friend zone.
no. Like she likes the way that he treats her.
Oh, okay.
And she's not friend zoning him.
thought it
Like I
was.
said, like I said, this is a guy in her rotation, and like the guy's like, there's only like one issue with him that she doesn't have a problem with, so I don't have a problem with it. But like, there's genuinely like just nothing wrong with the guy, and I'm like, look, this guy's good people. Like, you want my opinion? This guy is good people. But by the same coin, and I know it looks like I'm trying to be resentful toward this person, but at the same time, I'm trying to tell her like, I'm like, this person is poisonous. Like, I know that you feel this person is your friend, but like, not only that, but like, she actually is like actively taking her side. She's making excuses for her. Oh, she's got this going on in their life. She's got this going on in her life, and I'm like, look, this is how she's treating one of your friends who tried to help her. How do you think she's going to treat you if her chips are far down enough?
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel about it. I mean, this is like awful. Like I don't want anyone like this in my life, and it complicates things that I have a friend now who is like aligned with this person in such a way like, oh, it's okay. Like I get it. You're friends, okay? But at the same time, there's no sympathy for me in this situation. Now it's like I can't even crash there, or at least not as regularly as before, because every time she's there, now I get kicked out.
Man.
So it's like I don't have like, there was a little bit of stability for me in that situation, and just like it just sucks. And like I could have pulled a low blow, right? Like she said all this nasty stuff to me. Like one day she came home and she was like furious. And she was furious because her boyfriend, she dropped her boyfriend off in Orlando, and he refused to do stuff with her, you know? And she came home and she was like livid about this. She's like, why doesn't he want to touch me? And all this. I was like, and he was acting all distant. And it's like, he probably figured something out, like in hindsight. I could have said, like, when she said, like, you can't get laid and all this nasty stuff to me that, like,
Oof.
I did not ask for. When she said all this stuff at the end, all this, like, just really mean-spirited stuff at the end of the text.
What part
Like-
of her head that says that's okay with saying that? It's like, go for it.
Yeah, no, like, a part of me, wanted to say back to her, like, oh, this coming from the person whose boyfriend refused to touch her, you know? Like, I could have said that. I could have been cheap. It's a low blow, which she just took. It might have felt satisfying for a brief moment, but I didn't say it because I didn't want to validate this kind of poison. She still owes me an apology, and maybe at some point in her life she'll revisit this when she's a better person and be like, oh, that was really horrible. I don't really have that faith that it will happen, but I'm allowing it to, you know? But that's why I screwed up. My second episode is that I had this going on, and then I pick up this guy, and, like, I'm maintaining, you know? And the episode is like, it was cordial. We were having a good time. Unfortunately, he didn't win much. He got a T-shirt and the default prizes.
But, hey, like you kept on going. Mistakes are bound to happen, and screws bound to happen. But
Yeah.
keep on going through it, man. Like you're still going strong. You still have your car. It's very hard, definitely, but it seems like you want to do this for years.
Yeah. No, it's like, so I could have done. I mean, I struggle emotionally with some things, you know. So, sorry.
One step at a time, bro.
Yeah, no, I've been working on this for like years, and I've gone through so many like just really bad phases because it was all in direct service of this project. And I'm really grateful. Don't get me wrong. Like even though they didn't show today, I'm like really grateful that I had like good passengers on my first episode because it's like it validated everything that I've been working for, you know. And it's just at the same time, it's like I put it up, and at the same time, like part of me's been working so long and so hard for this, and you know things get screwed up, and it's not perfect. But at the same time, it's you know, it's just like I feel like I don't have faith in it, and it's like I'm figuring like I kind of just if I can just get like a couple more episodes out, maybe like let's say I only give away like one more Switch, and I still have one left. It's like I kind of just want to go and just give it to some kid at a children's hospital because I don't feel the show's not giving me the satisfaction that I was hoping for. And I'd rather like I know it's good. I know I'm making a lot of like well not a lot yet, but I know I'm making memorable experiences for people. And I do get some joy out of that, but it's just
Well,
really fleeting for me, you know.
well, what makes you start in the first place?
It was a compulsion. I was I just got my car, right? Like 2016, the very end of 2016, I got my car. And I thought, okay, I'm going to set it up so my passengers can play video games because I wanted to do something cool and I knew about power inverters, so I put my Wii U in there and the gamepad and one TV so two people could play Mario Kart that way. And it got such a big reaction that I was just like, okay, well when the Switch comes out, I'm gonna set it up so my passengers can play Mario Kart on the Switch, and I'll get more TVs and more controllers so everyone can play. And when I did that, I'm like, now I want to do more, so I put floor glow on the interior of the car and stuff like that. And so people started getting in, and I mean, hundreds and hundreds of people, if not 1,000 people, I heard this from. They would get in the car and they would say like, I feel like I just walked in on a cash cab. And I kept hearing that so many times. I just kept hearing, oh, I feel like I'm on cash cab. I feel like I'm on cash cab. Well, they're playing video games. They feel like they're on cash cab. And I thought, like, I connected these two dots. And I thought, maybe I should do something like that, but with video games. And I ran it by, like, a lot of people. Like, every time they said that, I said, I'm thinking about doing something like that, but with video games. And they said, that sounds awesome. And, like, I don't know. That's how it shaped up. It was almost hardly even my idea. It was like people just put the thought in my head, and I did it. And I didn't have anything else to do with my life, but like every step of the way was just it was a compulsion to make it better and to add more to it. Like originally, my plan was to actually have something just kind of really crappy and basic with a couple crappy cameras, one aimed at the TV. And my friend told me, oh, you should check out streamer setups. So I'm like, oh, okay. Got a laptop mount, got a couple of hubs to run webcams through, got 5 webcams. You know, I did all this stuff. And now that I'm there, it just like
Well,
I'm just not at a good point, but I'm still doing the show because you know what else am I gonna do? It took me forever. I got all the money and prizes.
well,
They're in my trunk right now, you know. So
well, here's the thing, man. You got an idea. People gave you like the seed of an idea, but you explored with it. You came out with it. You build upon it, and you showed it out. Not that many people could do that in life. That's what you do. And now you're spilling out, showing everyone what you are. It's like that's real strength and courage.
and I really appreciate hearing that, but it was not intelligent because if I was smart, like no, just hear me out for a second. If I was smart, I would have just gotten my CDL 4 years ago. I would have just been a trucker and I would have had the game show fully funded 2 years ago, and it would be in a freaking Tesla. You know what I mean? Like, but because I just went straight for it, because I struggle emotionally, because I have something amiss, you know. And again, I try really hard not to like take that out on people, and I think that shows in what I showed you a moment ago with those texts. Like, I'll stand up for myself, but I'm trying like really hard not to like poison people with what I'm feeling. So, but yeah, like if I was just smart, if I just listened to what people told me and just said like, okay,
I'm gonna get my CDL. I'm gonna be a trucker. I'm gonna make a good chunk of money doing that over a couple of years, and then I could do this from a really nice car with even better prizes and have vacations for people to win, do crazy stuff. I didn't do that. Like I just went straight for it because I had no concept of how it was going to be, and how I was going to react to people and what people would set me in the frame of mind that just destroys me, or what it could be set off by anything, and it could be chemical. It could be something I can rationalize, and that's the worst part, is when you have some mental defect happening, you try to rationalize it because you really want to think there's an external reason for it. You don't want to think it's you, you know? And the confusing part is, sometimes it's you and you're thinking it's something else. And it's like you let things get to you worse than you would have because you're not viewing it right. But other times you are viewing it right and you just don't know. And then you're in doubt. So I have a lot of just constant self-assessment that I just can't get away from,
Well, you say you want to do this and that, but you didn't stop. You could have stopped any time, but you kept on going. Well,
Yeah.
you said all these things out there, but I feel like you're the one that's want to stop, even though you're here feeling tired and even weak some parts. Like, no, screw this. I'm not down yet.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like once you put a year into something, when's it enough to make you stop? Right? And then it's a sunken cost. It's a sunken cost at that point. It's maybe even a sunken cost fallacy, but then a second year goes by and it's like, no, quitting is not an option at this point, and then the third year, and then it's like, this has to happen. And then you run into a chunk of money and you're like, okay, I could get stability right now, or I could just cannibalize everything in the name of this thing and finally get it done. And that's what I did. And, I'm hoping I don't regret it, man. That's all. It's a lot of time to do one thing, and I don't even have a whole lot to show for it,
Nothing's set in stone yet, man. You got this. I believe in you.
I appreciate hearing that, man. I'm gonna try to compose myself. If you want to talk about anything else,
that's
I'm
cool.
all game.
You're all good, man. But I want to ask you this:
Yeah.
PS5 or Xbox?
I already have my PS5 secured.
What?
Yeah.
How? People have been fighting over that for, I don't know, weeks, maybe?
By accident, I was walking in a GameStop one day because my Switch dock broke and I needed a new Switch dock for the show. and I walk in and I'm like, do you have a Switch dock? They're like, oh, we don't have any Switch accessories in right now. They're hard to find. I'm like, a used one? He's like, let me check the other GameStops. He checks the other GameStops. There's one. He's like, oh, there's one on Wiles and University. They have a used one. I'm like, okay, so I go over there. It's like noon. It's like a little later, maybe middle of the day. And I'm just going there to get the used Switch. I'm like, where's the used Switch dock? He's like, it's over there. And I'm like, okay, bring it to the counter. And there's a guy like, yeah, I'll pre-order a PS5. And I'm like, you guys have PS5s for pre-order? And he's like, yeah, that starts today. I guess they started it a day early at GameStop locations. Like they kind of jumbled it a bit, or maybe I was there on the regular day and just got very lucky. I don't know. All I know is I went there for a Switch dock and I left there with a PS5 pre-order.
Oh, nice. That's luck. That's a miracle right there.
And
at this
that's
point.
yeah. I mean, one of the games that I never touched on my PS4 that I'm good at racing games, especially kart racers, but Gran Turismo Sport.
Ooh, that's okay. That's pretty cool.
Because I'm unbeatable in Mario Kart. Heads up to anyone in Florida, at least. There are maybe 2 people out in Kansas somewhere who are able to take me for some reason.
I'm sure that some people want to take that challenge on.
And they are welcome to do
Wait,
so.
you went to that Flint's Arcade Mario Kart tournament, did you?
No, that was I hosted that tournament.
Oh, you did.
That's the only way I can get people to keep showing up is if I host the prizes because they don't want to go against me. So I made first place a Switch and
I wanted to go there, but I was busy that day. That looked fun. Did you compete also?
Yeah, no, I competed also. The way it works.
Were you the final boss? I'm sorry. Were you the final boss?
Yeah, I was the final boss.
So you accept me as the final.
Yeah, what I do is I gift the things to the arcade, so I'm allowed to compete in the tournament, and then they put it up as prizes.
Wow.
So I'm not technically competing for my own things at the time. but yeah, 10, 12 people contacted the owner of the arcade before that tournament and asked if I was going to be there, and he was like, well, I didn't want to lie to him. I said, yeah. So they said they weren't going. So they just didn't want to go against me. But I made second and third place decent enough, and there were still day passes for fourth and fifth place. So it's I feel like that should be enough for like
Yeah.
you know, second place was a $150 value. If they're racing for second, they could have done that. Third place was a $25 value, a little gimpy, I know. But then, you know, fourth and fifth places were day passes, which were basically the value of what the tournament buy-in was, so why not? And but yeah, I guess people resent me because they take me for a ringer or whatever, but like Mario Kart tournaments, the ones that other people host, I'm winning like $25 gift cards, like bar gift cards.
Wow.
Like, it's not like I put so many hours into that game, and I don't even like the game. That's the weird thing. Like, I resent the game so much. And then I look, no, because it punishes you for being good. The random number generator system, the way it works is the further you are from first, the better your items are. It's not even based on your numerical position anymore, like it was in the 64 days. It's if you're in second place and you're far enough behind, you can get a bullet.
Really?
If you sandbag in the beginning of the race for good items, early on it won't let you get like great items, but then you use them and go through and just back over those item boxes again, and you can get like a star and a bullet and then smuggle them midway, use your bullet, and then you're in first place with star power, you know. It's an exploitable item system. I really resent it.
I never knew that. That kind of explains why some people win. It's like no explanation.
Well,
Like, what?
yeah, and then the meta for the game is like really narrow. There's like maybe 4 competitive options. I use one that's like a little below that because I don't like looking the same as everybody else. I'm like pick an underdog, you know. What I mean?
Okay, yeah. So, do you choose Rainbow Road as your final thing?
It's random selection
Ah.
for tournaments, yeah. And the tiebreakers we take turns choosing, and it's whoever gets 2 in a row is how I like to do the tournaments because it's the most fair. But like, yeah, we do random selection on the levels. But the reason I want to get good at Gran Turismo is because like there was this like tournament in Australia last year, maybe it was last year I think, and the winner of that tournament got 100 grand in a Porsche. And it's like I'm sitting here winning gift cards to bars, and I'm like, if I put this much time into Gran Turismo, I could be winning something of value right now, you know?
I can see you be a race car driver, honestly, in real life.
I when I was little, that was like what I wanted to do, and my parents strongly discouraged it, and I ended up being an Uber driver, not quite the same. My parents tried to dissuade me from anything dangerous, and
Well,
I think I kind of enjoyed driving though. I don't know, maybe that would have been a good life for me. Who
well,
knows?
it's still your life's still not over yet.
My sister wanted to be a veterinarian, and they did not discourage her from that because what's going to happen to you if you're a veterinarian? And she is. From the time she was a little girl, she wanted to be a veterinarian, and she became one.
Oh,
How many kids do that? They say they want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a firefighter. How
Or
many of them actually do
rock
it?
stars?
Yeah, I mean, rockstar. Like all you can. Honestly, I don't even know how self promotion works to that extent. Like you want to be a rock star, you can be a rocker. You can be really good at an instrument. I've got a friend. If I can plug him, if you don't mind.
Oh no, we got all the time soon. Maybe next time, bro.
Oh yeah. No, I was just gonna say Pathways band, the lead guitarist.
Wait, what?
The lead guitarist from Pathways band did some of the music for my game show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh man, we should have next time on. We'll have you on next time then about that.
He's over in Washington though. I don't know if he could join us in person. Unless
Well, fake. We could always do like virtually then.
I'll ask him about it.
Yeah, but like I said, man, thanks for being on my show. I really appreciate it.
I really appreciate you having me back. Sorry if I'm
Nah,
not in
man,
the
it's all
best way
cool.
right now.
Spray stuff out and show what you got. And you really show what you got. You did all of that mostly by yourself, and you try to help others. That's all you could do. But still, you did it. You took a chance, and I think it's probably pay off soon.
Yeah, I hope so.
It will, man. I believe you, Dad.
Well, thank you so much, man. Driven to Win video-game show. One word on the video-game show.
We'll put the link up, guys. That's all the time we have. Thank you.
That's my YouTube channel. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
I'm out. Bye.
Come true.